Welcome to Just Kampers and Project 2022. In this video we're going to be showing you how to fit sound deadening. So a few of the items that we're going to need to use today. Obviously our dynamat, a decent roller tool available from Just Kampers, a tape measure, a pen, and two different types of cutting. We've got a pair of scissors for cutting or a knife for cutting. For sound deadening, the first thing we need to do is measure the panel that we're fitting to. So again, the sound deadening doesn't have to fill the entire panel. Don't feel like you've really got to get it perfect and get it into the corners. It doesn't matter. As long as you have the majority of that panel covered with our sound deadening material, that's enough. Otherwise you'd end up covering the whole vehicle and it'd be really heavy. So we're just going to go ahead and measure this centre section here. Also, before we put on sound deadening material on, we make sure that these panels are clean, dry and free of grease. So you can give it a clean with some alcohol wipe or a brake clean and just basically give it a wipe over. If you're using a water-based degreaser, make sure that it's thoroughly dry before you start sticking your insulation on. Okay, so I've cut my sound deadening ready to go onto our panel. I have put gloves on because this is foil based, so once you've cut it you do leave sharp edges, so when working with it and putting it on the panel I'd suggest you use some gloves just to protect yourselves. So this is roughly going to go here like so. So all we do is peel the backing off. Okay, just work it from the middle outwards. You can use a roller, which really helps. Again, it keeps your fingers away from the sharp edges from where you've cut. Helps us get around there. And then you can peel the other half off. So, and again, work from the middle outwards. And then we just So I've cut the lower part of this panel ready to go. Again, you only need to peel half the backing off at one time just to get it in place, or you can peel a small amount off. It depends how confident you feel with it. If you only want to peel a little bit off and start sticking it in position with just that small amount, that's fine. So we'll go ahead and do that. Literally just start from the middle, put your roller through the middle and then work your way out to the edges. We've got the leftovers from our first panel that we're going to use in here. So we're going to minimise our waste. And that's it, we've used one complete sheet so far out of our mega pack. And we've done our panel over here and the lower half of this panel here. It doesn't have to join up. As long as you have a part on each part of the panel, that's fine. Okay, so we've fitted our dynamat to the lower level of the van and the tailgate. We're going to do the roof next. Just to run through, on these large panels you can obviously put quite a large piece quite easily, not a problem. And then in the smaller areas, it's not a problem to cut up into smaller bits and place smaller bits in. So you don't have to try and get a whole big sheet of dynamat in one area. You can cut it into smaller sections. So here I've done it in 4 different sections. So we've got 1 here, 2, 3, and 4, and then another section, actually 5 on that main panel. And the same in here, you can just feed smaller amounts just to help take the drumming away from it. So it doesn't have to cover the whole panel, it's just literally a small part on the main panel. Okay, the same on the tailgate. Because it's quite difficult to get the dynamat in one sheet, we've actually cut it into smaller sections, fed a smaller section in first, and then done it that way. So again, it's not a problem to cut up into smaller bits. It just makes it easier to feed it into the more difficult places to get to. Now we're going to put sound deadening on the roof of the van. Now a T5 has got a different roof to a T6 and a T6.1. So you would almost certainly put dynamat on a T5 van because the roofs are a bit noisy. Now these T6.1s have got ridges and presses into the ceiling, so it's not too bad, but for the purpose of the video and to show you where to use dynamat, we're going to dynamat the roof as well. Obviously if you're fitting a pop top, you're not going to dynamite the roof. So we're finishing off the rear of our sound deadening in our van. The last bit we've got to do is our wheel arches, the wheel arch tubs. Now, depending on what conversion you're doing and what you're doing with your van is whether you do these or not. You don't have to, but for us we just want to deaden that sound a little bit more. So we're going to basically sound deaden the wheel arches both sides. So I'll go ahead and do that. We're literally just going to do the side of it, not worry about the top because there's already pressings in the top, which is pretty dead sound anyway. This fairly flat panel is quite noisy, so again that will deaden the sound. So that is our plan. We're going to go there, use our roller to push it flat. Okay, and then we're going to work it into the crease. So I started at the bottom, which was flat. There is a bit of a pressing here, so we're going to just gently work that in now. So. So that's the rear of our sound deadening complete. We've done both wheel arches as well. Hopefully that'll help reduce the noise even further.